Hello, this is the Damson, and today I am going to do a painting that is Van Gogh's painting of his room. And the reason why I want to do this is because it's a perfect beginner to intermediate, advanced, whatever level you are, you're going to be totally fine. And the beautiful thing about Van Gogh is the perspectives are not correct. It's very forgiving, so you don't have to worry too much. You just have fun with the brush strokes. So I will have the traceable available for you on my Facebook page, so you can go and grab that there. It's absolutely free. Just print it out and then trace it on the back with the pencil, and then put it on the paper to transfer it to your watercolor paper. And now this room is going to be much lighter colors than his original is painted with oils, but we are going to attempt this with watercolor, and it's a lot of fun because we are making those brush strokes kind of to give us the illusion of Van Gogh, and also we're gonna layer a lot to give us that impressionistic look. And like you see right here, we're starting with the bed, and every single element in this painting will have many layers. So from time to time I'm gonna be quiet so you guys can observe what's going on. But the most important thing is those lift and drops of the brush, so you can create, even if using the same color, to create that pattern of many brush strokes. So a lot of drops and lifts, because every time you drop the brush you deposit more paint, and so move the brush around, don't just do one fluid brush stroke. There's gonna be areas where that might be okay when you're starting with the first layer, making it super transparent so you can start layering. But to be honest, the easier will be if you start from the beginning with those drops and lifts. And the video is gonna jump from time to time from areas that are two the same, nothing different is happening, so you can pause on those if you're painting together with the video. But and I will have the colors painted on the end of the video on the bottom of the canvas of the paper. So again, tons of brush strokes. The colors here, it's yellow and a little bit of ochre, and like you see, tons of brush strokes up and downs. Just move around the canvas and go to different places, because if one area is too wet, the watercolor will start moving into it and will kind of delete your brush stroke. So just move around the painting, the room, and fill in different parts at the same time, so you give one area a chance to dry a little bit. The perspective of the chairs are not really correct, but that's okay. So this is why Van Gogh is perfect to do as a beginner. So I skipped that layer on the floor and I put a very transparent purple, but it's absolutely the same way as that turquoise greenish blue. I wish I did it a little bit more blue, but it's still gonna be okay. And again, if you see now, we are moving into again, a lot of brush strokes, but they're a little bit longer. So, but lifting and dropping, and we're putting different weight and different amount of paint on the brush. Same color for the green or any other layer on the top, but just by getting more paint or less paint, more diluted or less diluted, will give us more variations of the color. So we're dealing with the hues. And if you see, the lines of the floor are also not perspective, not the right perspective, but it's still gonna work. It's a Van Gogh, so whatever you do, it will be okay. Just have fun with it. And please let me know what you're interested in painting, or you want to learn something. I will be very happy to make a video about it, or do some research and make a video about it. So anytime you have questions, I'll be happy to answer. And again, same brush strokes, different colors, all the way till the end. We're changing the brush stroke sometimes direction depending on the element, but pretty much is the same thing, lift and drop. Now we're going a little bit darker on the chairs, so we're adding a little bit more ochre, yellow ochre. So if you don't have ochre, you can mix a little bit of brown with the yellow. So the front chair turned out very well. There's tons of brush strokes, and now I'm going with a little bit more brown, so we are making that ochre a little bit darker, and I am mixing my ochre with brown, so it's not a full strength of brown. And the same thing, the chairs and the bed is the same colors that I'm using. Move to the floor really quickly so we can give a chance to the bed and the chairs to dry a little, so I can put another brush stroke over that it's not going to be spreading in the wet surface. And you can download the original painting, Van Gogh's painting, and do that as a reference. Because it will give you a little bit more information on the original. So it's better to look at the original so you can see the way the artist have placed shadows or highlights or brush strokes. Just going around again and placing more depth, more brush strokes, darker, a little bit darker, more color. This is the time when I'm gonna start outlining, because Van Gogh has a lot of outlines, and that will help give more shape to our elements. So I'm using more water for the wall. I'm trying to cover this a little bit quicker, but again, I am lifting, dropping, and lifting and dropping that brush, so I have different size brush strokes, a little bit different colors, so you can see more like a pattern versus one even color. Tons of lines. I probably will paint this painting one more time and make it much darker and get it closer to as weight, as intensity to the original. Of course, it will be watercolor, so watercolor will never give you that weight as oil. There's a few picture frames on the wall, and if you look at the original, actually you can see some of the paintings that are like his portrait and a few other things on the wall, so it's really cool to look at those little elements from the original. This is almost the same color as the flooring, except that I added a little more green in that turquoise green blue. So I hope you're enjoying this video, and if you do, please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. And please let me know what you think and how your painting turned out, and what do you want me to paint in the future. I'd love to hear from you. So everything that is on top of that nightstand / table, whatever it is really simple shapes. So it's not perfect, very elementary. It's not difficult. It is great. So there it is, his portrait is on the wall, and all that is kind of like a pretend paintings. On this one I'm not going into crazy details. It's like an oval for a head, and we're gonna add something on top and the sides as hair, and then some blue on the bottom part, like a trapezoid for the dress, and that's it. Even I added dots for eyes and nose and mouth, but I'm making it very vague, not putting too much detail in it. trying to follow a little bit of what is on the original painting. And you can see how I am when I do the brush strokes, I'm kind of lifting and going back and forward and putting more or less. So there is parts that are more intense than others, and it makes it a lot of fun. So these are the colors I use for the window. These are all the rest of the colors. I think I'm gonna make combinations of what I mixed also, but I pretty much use the whole palette. And even for the bed, you see how I did ups and downs on the brush, so you have like kind of dots. A few more things to finish this painting, because we have that towel hanging on the wall and also some coats. Just going around giving a little outline. So of course that outline have to be done after the element is dry, so it doesn't mix with the previous layer. There is another door here, so there's two doors on opposite sides, but that room is very tiny because the bed is overlapping part of that door. That's the hanger on the back. I put some coats there hanging. I'm getting a smaller brush. I need to add a little bit smaller, tiny details and a little more outlining on certain parts. So any smaller brush with a very pointy tip will be okay. Use whatever you have. So I'm mixing black with, let's say I'm working on the table, black and brown, or black and blue, or black and ochre. So different elements, I'm putting different color outlines, so it's not necessarily the same. We still haven't done that towel. Gonna get there. And once we add those outlines, everything starts looking better and better and more Van Gogh-y. So if you notice, the towel is triangles on top of each other, and that red line, which is a stripe, it kind of curves around to give us that illusion of towel being kind of folding while falling down and hanging on that nail. more outline. Now we can definitely see it better, and just touching up everywhere. That's the fun part on the end of each painting, where you are perfecting everything, making it a little better or to pop, emphasizing on elements. And there is no one straight line, there is no perspective that it's correct. Everything is really neat. So these are the combinations of colors that I have mixed together. That's brown and ochre, and that's the color that it's creating. That's the turquoise green and blue. There's your black. There's black and blue. It's creating a really beautiful color. And pretty much that's it. So I hope you enjoyed, and see you soon. Happy painting. Bye.